Welcome back, Shalloners. Well, you guys voted, and so here is the topic of the day: plastic surgery, self-esteem, and Kylie Jenner. So what we do here in the Shallontourage, if you happen to be new, if you're just a Kylie stan and clicked on in, we look at something a celebrity is going for, a pathology maybe, a scandal, a breakup, whatever, and we distill the psychological lessons and the life lessons we can take into our own lives, because there's always something to learn from someone else's mistake. And be clear, Kylie Jenner is making a very big mistake with all of her plastic surgery. We're going to get into that, talk about what that means for her self-esteem and why that makes her and girls like her who are going through this whole surgery metamorphosis so susceptible to fuckboys, douchebags, players, and really manipulative people. But first, just want to remind you guys that if you want to talk with me privately, one-on-one, find me on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXO, and click chat to get connected right away to me. And follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, where I let you guys help pick the next topic and we can all connect. Also, find me on every place you can find podcasts with my new podcast, Girl on Top, where I answer the best questions you guys have submitted over the course of the week. All right, let's get into plastic surgery. Look, I'm not going to come here and pretend I'm not a fan of plastic surgery. I am. I grew up in Orange County, California, the plastickiest place on planet Earth outside of like probably Miami or Palm Beach or someplace in Brazil. And I kind of like that sort of like older lady fake plastic look. I know, but I just like, I grew up seeing it. It's like the big fake boobs and the lips. And I'm just like, I'm home. Like my mom doesn't look like that. No one in my family does. But it's just very like, oh, here we are. So I, from a very early age, was like very aware of like injectables and Botox and fillers and stuff like that. I wasn't doing it, but like, it's just kind of something that everyone's talking about where I come from. And so I became really, really interested in plastic surgery because like I read like the journals and I read like the new studies, and I will talk to doctors and I'll be like, oh, have you heard of this blah, blah, blah technique? And they're like, how do you know about that? I just found out about that. I'm like, child, I know everything. I know everything. And I feel like it's a really interesting thing because like I'm an editor. I edit magazines, I edit books, and I edit people. And I just think it's so cool to be like, oh, you know, if you like turned the corners of someone's eyes up a little bit, then they're symmetrical, and like just these little tweaks like click you into this perfect beauty symmetry. So I find it really interesting. And yes, I have edited myself from time to time over the last decade or so. I actually started getting Botox when I was super young. I was like 23 or 24, because my whole life I have had these two lines on my forehead like since I was a child. And some people, if you have them, you know what I'm talking about. It's just like hereditary familial things. And I'm like, I just want to look young while I am young. I don't want to look like somebody different. I don't want so-and-so's nose, Kylie's lips, someone else's tits. Like, I just want to look like me, but the best possible version of me that I can be. And that's always been my vibe whenever I've gotten something done. And right now there's like nothing in my face. There's no fillers. Like this is just me. And I'm like, I wonder what I find myself being like, I wonder if I can do something. You kind of like play with your face. But like I've tried lip injections years ago. I tried cheek injections. I tried like injections to fill the hollows under your eyes. I definitely did not like that. They sunk, and then they sunk into my cheeks and made my cheeks really full. And a lot of times, see, you guys can see this like poofy thing right there. It's like a buildup of tissue. Doctors like, it's not filler. It's just not. But in my like crazy person mind, I'm like, it is. And this is God punishing me for messing with my face. But like, I hate it. And they're like, well, there's nothing we can do. You can put a man on the moon, but you can't take away this little like pocket of tissue on my face. Okay. But I've like experimented with things. And every time I would go to the doctor, I would say the same thing. Dealer's choice. Dealer's choice. Make me look fresher, make me look like the best version of myself, and make me look symmetrical. Symmetry is the foundation of beauty, and none of us are perfectly symmetrical. Like over the course of history, there's been like 3 women that they've ever measured. One was like Greta Garbo. I think one was randomly like Hilary Swank or Scarlett Johansson. Like someone you're like, But that is the foundation of beauty. So I'm always like, just do that. And a good doctor will love to hear that, because the worst thing a doctor can hear is, I want Kylie's lips. I want Bella's nose. I want Gigi's chin. It's like, that might not align with your face. And once you start messing with things, it is a domino effect. And I've experienced this. Like when I had, I got filler in my cheeks, because as you get older, your face like thins out, like, and not in a cute way. You lose collagen. You stop producing collagen automatically when you're 18. And smoking, stress, and the sun further eats away at the collagen. So you can replace that with like Fraxel, laser treatments, pico lasers, and also fillers. See, I know like a lot about this. I'm like just scratching the surface. I could talk about this all day. I find it fascinating. I just want to marry like Dr. Dubrow. We can just like nerd out. I'll just be a sister wife. It's fine. So yeah, it's like when I did that, I was like, well, wait a minute. Now my lips look small. Like, oh, if I got lip injections though, it's like, then maybe my nose would look bigger and then my jowls would look heavier. Like you don't realize that doing one thing never just stops at one thing. If you give a mouse a cookie, you know, it can be a snowball effect. And who embodies that more than Kylie Jenner? Kylie's on vacation right now in Turks and Caicos to promote her Kylie skin line or whatever. And she's with her friends like Stassie baby, who did I like miss something? Like, why is she famous? Did she do something? And you can always tell like the stance. They're like, leave her alone. I'm like, okay, thanks for confirming that she doesn't do anything, because if she did, you'd be like, she's a singer. When people say leave her alone, it's like, okay, all right, weirdo. Anyway, Kylie posted this video of Stassie and her wobbling up a stairway in their identical outfits, but more interestingly, their identical bodies. They're absolutely identical waistlines, identical chest size, and identical giant fake asses. Long fake hair, long fake nails. I have long fake nails too, but I'm not coming for you on that, Kylie. And I looked at that and I thought one thing. Fuckboys everywhere know exactly how to play you. The loudest person in the room is always the weakest, right? True confidence is quiet, right? Don't I always say that? Because it's always true. I look at Kylie and Stassie and I'm like, you two are the loudest bitches I've ever seen. And I don't mean their personality. I mean the persona. The makeup, loud, the hair, so much hair, the nails so long, the colors, so many colors, the proportions, huge, big, blah, blah. It's a loudness that belies a complete lack of self-esteem. I've said before that Kylie Jenner is a cold-blooded animal, right? And someone like Rihanna is a warm-blooded animal. What's the difference? Well, let's look at the animals. A warm-blooded animal has a core inside them, like they can regulate their own body temperature. They don't need the external world to do it for them. Cold-blooded animal, like a snake, they have to be in a warm environment, otherwise they die. They can't survive unless the outside world is keeping them alive. Self-esteem is almost the exact same way. Rihanna is the quietest. We don't hear from Rihanna a lot. She's not posting pictures. She's not being that flashy. When she does show up, she shows out. But it's not a constant barrage of photos because she doesn't need to. She's regulating this inside. She doesn't need to get her lips done, her boobs done, her this or that. She's even said, I don't mind gaining weight because dressing my body at different sizes is fun. I've never agreed with the statement less. I hate when I gain weight, but that's a whole different thing. Check out my keto diet challenge if you want to know more and join along if that resonates with you too. But that goes to show she's a warm-blooded animal. Like, she doesn't need the outside world to tell her she's hot, talented, rich, whatever. She knows it like she knows it like she knows it. Kylie doesn't. She's always got to post the photos. She's always got to be doing something, showing off the car, the house, the whatever, all the butt, everything that she's purchased, including her body and including her entire visage. And so that tells me that she can't regulate her self-esteem. It all has to be external. And that tells a fuckboy, easy target. I know what you're thinking. Kylie's life actually looks pretty great. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. It does. She's rich, so rich. She has an adorable baby. I've got to get my hands on that baby. She's so cute. Like, I just did a Shallon video on my ambivalence about having kids, and I never feel so strongly that I do want kids until like I see Kylie with Stormy. They're just the cutest. I can't get over it. But what she also has is Travis Scott. I'm just going to go ahead and stipulate that he's a good dad. Sure, fine. I don't think he's a good boyfriend. Do you know what I've heard? And when I say I've heard, Yes, I'm going to say it again. I was a magazine editor for a really long time in New York City. I ran a celebrity publication. I have a lot of sources. And when I hear things, like I hear things, that he not only cheats on her constantly, which I don't feel like is a surprise to anyone. Like, number one, a musician on the road. Come on. Like, a man is only as faithful as his options, and there's no shortage of girls waiting to S his D. Gross. Not only does he cheat on her, he brought his side chick, one of many, to the birthday dinner Kylie threw for him. Brought her to the dinner, paraded her around in front of Kylie. This is significant because it goes beyond cheating. There's a million reasons why people cheat, and I don't like, I get it. You know, I get it. But this is something else entirely. This is rubbing someone's nose in it. This is a power move. This isn't, I just want to fuck someone else or I enjoy someone else's companionship. I want to flaunt my power over you in your face. Why would he do that? Why would he think he can do that? Because consciously or unconsciously, he looks at Kylie, the loudness of how she has to live physically, and knows that girl doesn't have any self-esteem. What's she going to do? Leave me? No, she's not. I'm her baby daddy. She's not leaving me. Who's she going to date next? Another fucking Tyga? Let's talk about Tyga, right? Even if you think that story about Travis isn't true, he's the best, he's a talented artist, whatever. Tyga is a trash person. I've told the story about Tyga before, and I'll tell it again. I'll tell it until the day that I die, until God takes me from this earth. I'm friends with his manager. I don't know if he actually still manages him, but he did, like, when his career was starting off. And he's like, I had to sit Tyga down and say, you can't eat Cool Ranch Doritos in lieu of brushing your teeth in the morning. They're not the same. And Tyga would be like, no, it is though. Because, like, the Cool Ranch Doritos, like this cool, like, tingly thing, just like toothpaste. And he was like, no, not like toothpaste. Not the same at all. He's not even hot. He's not even hot. He's dumb. He's broke, right? Because every house that he rents, he trashes and gets taken to court. And Mama Chris had to pay off all his debts to keep him out of prison. And he's dumb. Also, he's disrespectful, right? Because none of those things necessarily have anything to do with Kylie. You can be dumb, broke, and ugly, and whatever. He's disrespectful. Do you remember when Kylie was 17 and she was 17, she was a child. And he released a song where he said the words Kardashian pussy, like, I get that Kardashian pussy. I remember when I heard it, I honestly teared up. Like, it brought tears to my eyes because I was so sad for her. I was so sad for her. I just wanted to, like, wrap her up and, like, take her away from this person. Like, she was so young and clearly so insecure. She had just started with the injections and everything. It's like she didn't know who she was. And this is how her boyfriend, her love, her first love, spoke about her, what he reduced her to. It's sickening. Fuck you, Tyga. But we have to look at where this came from. And, like, I know you're still thinking, like, okay, Kylie's life is still really great, though. I would love to switch places with Kylie. This is why I feel sorry for her, you know? And, like, she has problems that money can't fix because they come from within. And this is the thesis of the video. You can't fix an internal problem with an external solution. When Kylie was 15, 16, 17, she was going through the same thing all of us go through, which is I have to come into my own. I have to learn how to be within this real estate that God gave me, make the best of it, love myself, acknowledge the things I don't love myself, work to fix them if I can, and just be comfortable in who I am as a woman. Because that's the difference between a woman and a child. A child is apologetic. A woman is like, then get out of my life if you don't like it. A woman knows who she is. She knows her boundaries, what she will and won't accept. I am a woman. In a lot of ways, Kylie might still be a girl. Who knows? She might be going through, and I feel like maybe she is, this, like, sort of self-esteem revolution. I think motherhood can do that a lot. Like, you just become very aware of what you're capable of, and it really boosts your self-esteem. It's amazing. Also, like, what her business is doing, hopefully she's like, you know what? I'm not going to take any shit from anyone. But she still got Travis, so who knows? But back to when she was a teenager. She was going through what we all do. And all of us fixate on something, usually physical and external, that we think is the linchpin to our happiness. For me, it was boobs. When I was young, boobs equaled sexy. There was no definition of being sexy or cute or pretty or desirable to boys that did not revolve around tits. And I wasn't basing that on nothing. Most popular girls in my school had big boobs. They were beat in the face. I mean, beat, but they had big, bouncy, giant boobs, and I didn't. And so I was like, I have nothing. I have nothing to offer the world. Ironically, had the Kardashians been around then, I would have been killing it because I've got skinny legs and a big ass. And I'm like, where were you when I needed you, Kim? Where were you? But at the time, it was boobs. Kylie, she localized on her lips. Someone else, it might be like, I don't have clear skin. I'm not rich. I don't have like this car that I need that, blah, blah, blah. Most of us don't have the money or the parental approval to go out and fix that and to get that thing that we're basing all of this on, our hurt locker, basically. No one was going to let me go get breast implants. It was ridiculous. I mean, some girls did, a lot of girls get them in college or whatever. And my mom was like, you need to learn to love yourself. She said that to me over and over and over and over again. And she's like, Aunt so-and-so. I was like, yes. She's like, her boobs are fake. And she got them not to please this one guy who she was dating. She was obsessed with him. And she was like, ta-da! And he's like, oh, that's great. I'm actually kind of more of a leg man. And she was like, because what she thought was going to fix an internal problem, I'm not good enough for this guy. He's not giving back to me what I want. This is a dead-end bullshit relationship. She tried to fix with an external solution, and it didn't work. Now she has 2 breast implants she can't get rid of. You know what I mean? So my mom was like, your problems are not your boobs. It's your self-esteem. So you're going to work on your self-esteem by setting goals. You're going to run for student council. You're going to be captain of the hockey team. You're going to get in the school you want to get into, write for the school paper, do improv, belly dance, rodeo, blah, blah, blah. And I built my self-esteem slowly, and I got there. And I remember thinking, if only she would let me get my boobs done, I could take this quantum leap in terms of self-esteem, and I wouldn't have to feel this way. I wouldn't have to go through all these steps. But Kylie, because here's how we know that you don't get a shortcut around self-esteem. Because with Kylie, it started with lips. And Kylie, unlike the rest of us, did have a parent who's like, okay, yeah, just go fix it. Kris Jenner, and God forbid Bruce, he's useless, wasn't like, let me help you build this self-esteem from inside out. That wasn't a thing. It was, yeah, I get why you don't like them. Sure, let's fix it. Fix it. Like it was wrong to begin with. She looked perfectly fine. So here's how we know it doesn't work that way, because it didn't stop at the lips. Kylie is a wax figure, She's got cheeks, chin, this, Botox. I mean, the lashes, the hair extensions, the nails. She's got big fake boobs. She has fat transfers that sucks all the fat out of her midsection and pumps it all into her big butt. That's why her butt looks exactly the same as Sophia Richie's and Stassie babies and Kim's. And they go to the same doctor. Like, this isn't just yoga and makeup contouring. So we know it doesn't work because it didn't just stop. And like I said, remember, it's a domino effect. You do one thing and then it's the next and it's the next. And this is especially true when you're trying to fix an internal thing, because you do the lips and you're happy for a little while, but then you're still living inside yourself. All those fears, they're still there. You are still the same person. And a phrase I love is, everywhere you go, there you are. It means you can't outrun yourself. I've tried. Do you know how many frequent flyer miles I have? Whenever I get upset, I get on a plane. That's why I travel so much. I'm like, I don't want to be back. And everywhere you go, you're still there. Every time you inject yourself, you're still there. So she's like, okay, I'm going to get extensions, and then I'm going to get nails, and then I'm going to get breast implants, and this and this and this. Constantly trying to find that shortcut to self-esteem. And ironically, now it's taken her longer than if she just done it slow and steady wins the race. And again, we know this doesn't work because in Turks and Caicos, not only is her body just bizarre looking at this point, she's still fucking photoshopping it. She's still face tuning it. There's lines on the pillows, the railings are bent. It's never going to be enough. You can never fill that hole up inside with silicone. You have to fill it from within with self-esteem. And this is something my mom taught me, because when I was in like my biggest spiral, it's like, I hate the way I look. I was like vaguely bulimic. Like it wasn't really working. I wasn't really committed to it. You know, you've probably been there. She's like, I want you to get your ass out and volunteer. And I was like, I don't want to volunteer. She's like, get to a homeless shelter, get to a soup kitchen, get to a cancer ward. I'm tired of hearing you. I was like, ah. And you know what? She was right. What made the difference was not just volunteering, but for me, it was ROTC. And I talk about ROTC constantly because it was the most life-changing thing that I ever could have done, because it gave me worth based on who I was, what my skill set was, what my mind was doing, what my physicality was doing, not my beauty, but my body. Could my body perform? Could my thighs perform? Could my biceps perform? It gave me value outside of what I looked like. And I was giving back, you know, like we did a lot of charity stuff, and I was like helping America. I was like helping my teammates and my squad mates and everything like that. So for me, that was how I gave back. And I also did a lot of volunteering at that time, actually, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And I just feel like it's interesting, the correlation between the Kardashians and how much they manipulate their body and how little they give back to other people. What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? Kim's gotten 2 people out of prison. Cool. I mean, that's great. What the fuck has she done up until now? Hundreds of millions of followers between all of them. If they had people donate 1 can of food to a local food bank, $1 towards a political campaign to get someone in office who isn't going to destroy our planet, towards eradicating a disease, do you realize the good they could do? But they don't. And I can't help but wonder if their constant physical manipulations would be ameliorated by them doing things that prove their worth outside of follower count or fame or whatever. If it was purely altruistic, how that would change their physicality. And I wonder, you know, now that Kim is like going to law school, I wonder if that's going to correlate with a more toned down Kim. Like, I wonder if her giant fake ass is going to shrink, if we're going to see less lip injections. You know, I'm really interested to see like where she goes once she feels like she has value, and not just as a businesswoman, as a business product, but just from her mind alone. So what we can take from this is, look, you look at girls who are super surgerized, and fuckboys know how insecure you are. They can hear that loudness, and they're thinking, I know exactly what button to push now. She just told me. Like, I can look at her and read her and see where that insecurity is. I don't even have to dig for it. I don't even have to like squirrel around. I know it like I know it. And it's so easy. So easy. All I have to do is flirt with a girl who has a big natural butt. Oh my God, here she comes. It really doesn't take much. So when we're doing these things, when we're like, I need the lip injections, I need the hair extensions, all that is armor. And we're trying to make a shortcut for a self-esteem journey that should be slow. It's our life's work, and it's not a destination. Like, I got there and I have to constantly continue to stay here, constantly. And like, some moments I win, some moments I lose, but this is our life's work as women. And it worries me and it hurts me to see someone like Kylie not doing this work, because it is going to backfire, you know? And it's not about money. It's not about cars. It's about being okay inside who you are, inside this real estate for the entirety of your life. I want to know what you guys have to say about this. Like, have there been procedures and like nips and tucks you've done that you're like, this is going to change everything, and then didn't, and you're like, because I know that that's definitely the case. I also want to know what you think about Kylie, and if you think it's like, hey, she's doing her, good for her. If you're like, oh, I kind of also want to wrap her in a blanket and just de-plastic her. But like I said, if you want to talk privately, find me on the Instant Go app. My username is ShallonXL, and click chat to get connected, and be sure and listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday.